Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Level 1 Boxing Fundamentals. In today's session, we're going to work on the power punches in boxing, the hooks, and the uppercuts. Oh yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and break these down. These are going to, you might find these a little way more easier to pick up than the straight punches or the jab cross like we covered previously. So let's go ahead and dig into this and get to work. So, as everything is, we're going to start in our boxing stance. Okay, so I'm going to give you a nice side view here, and we're going to start off with the lead hook. Okay, your lead with the lead arm. So, in your boxing stance, so the way you're going to initiate, you're going to bring the arm out. Okay, you're going to make sure the arm's at a 45 degrees. Make sure that your fist is in a thumbs up position, okay, not in a side position. This will hurt your wrists if you have a habit of punching this way. So make sure you keep your thumbs up. Okay, this is going to have way more pliability and better force absorption at the knuckles. Okay, so bringing the arm out at a 45 degrees, you're going to pull it back a little bit like a sling, and then from here, this is really got to use the lower portion of your body. You're going to use your hips and your hip, and it's going to help you generate force as well as rotating your torso as well. Not just an arm movement. You have to put your body and your back behind the punch. So from that 45-degree extension, you're going to pivot. Everything's going to move at once. You're going to open up that chest, really squeeze the upper back, and then let everything collapse back into position. Okay, so bring the arm out, pivot, squeeze the back, keep the shoulder down, and pull back in. Open up, and let it rest back in. Boom. And set. So let me give you a front view right here. So in your boxing stance, bring the arm out at 45 degrees. Swing with the whole body. I'll prefer that you stop at your center line. You don't have to overcommit way out here. Want to stop right here, squeeze the back, and then let everything fall back into place and reset. Okay, one more time. Bring the arm out, fist up, pivot with the body, and then reset. Okay, try to relax the shoulder. Then once you have that down, you just kind of have everything kind of just flow. Stop in the middle. So it's not so much that my arm is moving, it's really my body that's guiding my arm behind the punch. Because I really want to transfer as much mass and force behind that hook as much as possible. But once you get that down, then eventually you can minimize the body rotation enough that you apply enough force behind the whip behind this particular technique. Okay, so once you have it down and you feel comfortable with this technique, then it'll look more like this. It's really short and tight. But the main thing is that you know how to transition your weight behind your punch at that short distance, that you don't necessarily need to really over exaggerate the body maximum body rotation. Okay? That's something you can work on if you have a bag in hand, but with this particular drill, we're actually going to transition and incorporate this in more of a shadow boxing fashion, so that's kind of really unnecessary. Alright, so here, rotate, and then pull back in. Arm out, bam. So when you have the arm out, make sure you're not just firing from the shoulder, make sure you're really squeezing that upper back. Okay? So that's the lead hook. Now, the next hook we're going to work on is from the rear hand. This might be an easier to grasp. It's very similar to the cross we went over on that previous series. The mechanics is very much the same. Okay, you're going to rotate from the hip, pivot from the back foot. Okay, and as well as pivoting from that shoulder. Now, the only difference is you're going to bring the arm out at a 45 degrees. Okay, so this is more of a looping punch. So here, rotate all the way. Kind of keep your knuckles in a thumbs up position. And then when you're throwing that punch, and visualize making contact with your knuckles. Okay? So for these punches, you definitely need to flex your wrists a bit more than the straight punches. Okay? 'Cause otherwise, if you don't flex enough at the wrist, then when you end up hitting something, then your wrist is going to collapse and it's going to hurt your wrist, and that's a big no-no. Alright? So you definitely want to flex your wrist when you're throwing that punch. So one more time, I'll give you a front view. If you're here, bring the arm out. Remember, keep the other hand guarding while the other hand is punching. So from that 45 degrees, you're going to rotate, boom, towards the center. I don't care if you want to aim, you know, to the jaw or to the head or even to the body. The height really doesn't matter. It just depends on where you want to hit. If you're being very specific, but for this case, we're just aiming at your own jawline. Okay, that's the height that I want. Okay, for now, just to start out with. So you're here, bringing it out, and rotate. Oh. And again, you want to sit, you weight into your punch. Don't want to lean into it. Okay, you're going to get off balance every time, and that's going to be frustrating. So, in this position, bring the arm out, rotate, and let everything fall into place. Okay? Do it a couple more times. Boom. Boom. There we go. Boom. Again, keeping your core tight, driving from your hip. Boom. Okay? It's really that easy. Alright, and I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. It feels way more natural than the straight punches. Alright, so the next one we're going to do is we're going to combine them together. Okay, they're going to, again, just like the jab cross, like we went over previously, they're going to flow pretty seamlessly together. Okay, so from your boxing stance, bring the arm out, hit, and swing. So you're going to pivot, 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 pivot. Pivot, pivot. There we go. Pivot, pivot. Pivot, pivot. There you go. Nice swing. Remember, 5 from your hips. That's it. You need to go a little slower. Add a little pause in between. We can do that. Try to stay balanced. Stay centered. For these punches, you can make them tight if you want. You can make them really tight, or you can reach out a little bit more, which is going to emphasize a bit more engagement of your torso, opening the chest, and squeezing of the upper back. Okay? So those are the hooks, lead hook and the rear hook. Now, we're going to go next is the uppercuts. Alright, so they'll start with the lead uppercut. It's one of my personal favorite punches, or favorite punch, I'm sorry, is the lead uppercut. And it could probably be the most challenging because it feels very awkward when you throw it because of the body positioning and alignment when you throw. So it's going to feel a little funky, but let's go ahead and go over it. So, in your boxing stance, actually, I think it's easier if I show you in a front side view. So from here, it's going to require a little bit of a pivot, okay, or a twist with the torso. You're going to twist, again, keep your hands up. You're going to twist with the lead arm. You're going to drop the arm like a lever. So the arm should be about like a 90-degree angle, all right, and then you're going to, same thing with all the other mechanics, you're going to pivot and turn into your hip and twist with your body, and you're going to thrust the arm up at a upward diagonal angle. Okay, you're going to upward diagonal and then reset. So you're going to twist, throw the punch, back up, twist. Don't bring the arm way down here. You don't want the arm down to your waist. Okay, you just need a 90-degree angle of the arm and then thrust with your body. So you're here, drop, and thrust. Okay, so I'll give you a rear view here. Twist, drop the arm at a 90-degree angle, drive up, and then pull back in. Again, doing all this while maintaining your center line. Okay? Drop, bring it up, and reset. Drop, come up, and reset. Boom. Boom. All right? So that's the lead uppercut. So the key thing is twisting. That little twist is going to really help with transitioning, rotating your punch in that upward trajectory. Okay? Boom. So that punch is going to take a little bit of practice, but that's all right. Take your time, work on it, go as slow as you need to. If you need to break it up, that's all right. These you can break into steps as well, right? In your stance, let's go over those steps briefly. So step 1, pivot. Step 2, drop the arm. All right, step 1, step 2, drop the arm. Step 3, rotate everything into place and pull it back in. Okay? So step 1, rotate in. Step 2, drop the arm at 90 degrees. Step 3, rotate your body in the upward trajectory and reset. So 1, 2, 3, reset. 1, 2, 3, reset. And once you get that down, and that feels a bit comfortable, or you just get bored, then you just make it into one motion. Don't put too much thought into it. It's more going by body feel. Okay? So that's the lead uppercut. The rear uppercut, you'll probably get this down a lot easier than the front. As any other punches are, they're pretty easy to fire from the rear hand. So same mechanics, twist from the pelvis and pivot from the rear heel. This arm, you're going to drop it down again at 90 degrees, same as the front arm, the lead arm. And you're going to rotate up, bend the knees, and come back down. So the key thing, like any other the rear punches, you want to stay centered, you want to stay rooted. Okay, you don't want to come up. You don't want to come up with your punches. Because you're going to try to hit with your torso, with your chest. Now all that's going to do is pinch your back, knock you off balance, and leave your chin exposed. So you want to hit with your legs, because that's where we generate all the force and energy, is from our legs. We borrow the energy from the ground, transfer from our legs, and we transfer it behind our punches. Okay, from the hips through our punches. So, give you a side view here. So, from your boxer stance, drop the arm, pivot the back foot, bring it up in the upward diagonal position, and then back down. Drop the arm 90, come up in the upward trajectory, and then back and reset. Down, up, reset. Down, up, reset. Boom. 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 And then once you get it down, you just snap it in. And then once you get comfortable with that, with both those punches, same thing, we tie them together. We tie them in. Okay? And again, the hips kind of work together in tandem, borrowing momentum from each other to generate force for both your punches. Okay? It's kind of like a pellet drum. You ever see those Japanese pellet drums? It's a little drum with the beads on the side with the string, and you twist it, and it makes the the noise. But it's the same idea, right? You're twisting the hips, the string and the beads are the arms, and it generates that momentum. You just got to control where, the direction, how you coordinate your punches. Okay? So, back to the uppercuts in your stance. Twist, lead uppercut. We're going to tie them in, bring it to the rear uppercut, and back up. Twist, twist. Uppercut, uppercut. Uppercut, uppercut. Give you a front view here. Uppercut, uppercut. Uppercut, uppercut. And when you're throwing these punches, I'm using my nose as a reference to my center line. So my fist is stopping at the height of my nose. I'm not going any higher or anything like that. I'm using my nose as a reference as to how far or how high or how far I'm punching. Boom, 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 boom. And the same thing, you can apply the volume training for any of these punches as well. You go 10%, 20%, 50%, 100%, whichever is best, helps you understand the pace that you're going at and what you're capable of. Okay, and as you get more acquainted, more comfortable, and understand the concepts, then you can start picking up the speed and the intensity. All right. So those are all the 4 punches I want to go over for this particular video. One more thing I wanted to add before we conclude here is tie everything together. We're going to tie everything together, the uppercuts and the hooks, and we're going to have some fun here. We're going to have some fun. So back in our boxing stance, once you get comfortable with the punches and you put some diligent time into working on each of these punches. If you haven't, don't worry. You can always come back to the video to go over this drill. But really spend the time on working on each of these punches individually so you get comfortable, so that way you're not overthinking in the process, and then at that point, once you put in the practice, you can just kind of flow with the punches and express yourself however you want to express yourself as far as movement and punches, and kind of create your own style. Okay? So from here, we're starting with the hooks. Start with the most fundamental way, just like the order we just demonstrated and broke everything down. That's the order we're going to go with the punches. So starting with the 2 hooks and then the 2 uppercuts to follow. Okay? So hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, 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 hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut. So you can work it that way. You can work them in order, and then if you feel comfortable, you can mix them up. Okay. When that's the way that's going to look is like so. You can throw a hook. You can throw an uppercut. You can throw another hook. You can throw the rear hook. You can throw the lead uppercut. Rear hook. Lead hook. Rear uppercut. Lead uppercut. Rear uppercut. Lead hook. And you just kind of play with it. Boom. Boom. Or if that's a little confusing, then you can just focus on 2 or 3 punches at a time, or just 2. Okay? So it can be hook, uppercut, or hook, lead uppercut, or lead uppercut, hook, or hook, uppercut. Okay, you can break it up however you want. Boom, boom, boom. If you want to throw double, you can do that. You can throw 2 of the same punches, right? Uppercut, uppercut, hook, hook, rear hook, uppercut, uppercut. I mean, there are many ways you can play around with it. Your imagination, your creativity is your only limit. So there you have it, guys. Those are your 2 punches we're working on today. Hope you enjoy that segment. Stay tuned for the next technique we're going to go over for the level 1 boxing. I'll see you there.